Hello, Assalamualaikum. So this is the second video for chapter 10 operation plan. So we continue with production planning, okay, the third step in doing the operation plan in your business plan. Okay, so of course we have to, it's important that we are able to plan how much that we are able to produce the output or the services. Okay, so by having the production planning, okay, the business will determine how much output, okay, to produce for a certain period of time, okay, such as you want to calculate how much that you are able to produce in a day, a week, or a month. Okay, in order for us to finish doing the production planning, we might need we certainly need the information from the marketing plan. So in order for you to do the operation plan, of course you need to finish your marketing plan first. Yeah? Okay, I guess, okay, so this is the example of the calculation for output per day, okay, because we want to know how much that we are able to produce. Okay, so here we have the average sales forecast per month. So this figure, 25,200, we got this figure from the marketing plan. Okay, so we have here is the price per unit, 15 ringgit. So to know how much okay, the output per month, we simply divide the average sales forecast per month by the price per unit. So we got the units, okay, the quantity, 1680 example, okay, for the output that we produce in a month. Okay, so to know the output, okay, in a day, we simply divide by the days. Okay, days here referring to the number of working days per month. Okay, so let's say that for your business you've decided that you want to work for 24 days in a month, so you just divide by 24 days. If you decide that you want to work for 30 days, so you divide by 30 days. So here we got 70 units per day. Okay, if you need to calculate for per weeks, okay, so you just times how many days in a week. Okay. Next is the material planning. Okay, material planning is done to determine the type and amount of raw materials needed for the production. Okay, so it involves 4 steps. Okay, we need to identify and list down the raw materials. Okay, and then we prepare the bills of materials. Okay, calculate the quantity of raw materials required, and also we have to identify, okay, the suppliers for all the raw materials. Okay, so first we will list down all the required materials. Of course, in order for you to list down the materials needed, okay, you have to identify, okay, you must know what are the materials needed for your business. Okay, for example, for the manufacturing pencils, okay, so the raw materials needed might be the wood, the lead, the eraser, and so on. Okay, let's say that you are selling nasi lemak, so you know, in order for you to cook, to sell nasi lemak, what are the raw materials needed. Okay, let's say that you are doing the retail business. Okay, the retail materials is known as goods. Okay, so you need to know how many goods, okay, that you need to order to purchase from the supplier. Okay, next, okay, then we are able to prepare the bills of material. Okay, here is the example. Why we need this bills of material? So that we are prepared, we know how many items, how many quantity of each of the material needed in order for you to produce for the quantity that you need for the month. Okay, so usually we prepare the materials for a month. Okay, so this is the example for the materials requirement schedule. Okay, so we have the material, the quantity that we need, okay, for a month, okay, safety stock, the total, and so on, the total price. Okay, Next, of course, to operate the business, we need the machine and equipment. Okay, so we have to set to determine, okay, what are the machines and equipment that we need and how many that we need. Okay, so first we list out all the machines and equipment. Okay, machines that you need to produce the product, equipments that you need in order for you, yes, of course, to produce, to do it. Okay. Maybe some of your business that didn't need the machines, okay, you do all by hand, but of course when you want to do it by hand, you still need all the equipment. Okay. Next is you have to determine, okay, the amount of machine and equipment that you need. Okay, and of course you must identify the supplier. Okay, so that you're able to buy. Okay, the factors to consider in purchasing machines and equipment, of course, we look into the price, the quality, whether is there a spare part available, okay, the breakdown maintenance facility, whether it's user friendly, easy to use. We also look into the supplier reputation and also if there are any after sales service, so that it will be easier for you, okay, to maintain the machine. Okay, so this is the example for the machine and equipment requisition. Okay, okay, so how many? Okay, how many machines and equipment that you need? You don't want to buy too many, okay, because you just start a business. You just want to buy enough. Okay, make sure it's enough so that it will able to produce the quantity that you set. Okay, for the month. Okay, so first you have to determine the production per day. You already calculate. Okay, how many units that you're going to produce in a day. Okay, determine the standard production time per unit for the planned machine. So you must know for each unit how long it will take. Okay, you have to determine the machine productive time. Okay, so basically for the machines, what is its productive time, and that the operation are able to read at its best. Okay, so the operation hours, okay, minus the setting up time plus the downtime. So the of course when you want to use the machine, you have to plug it and then set it on it and so on. So how long it will take plus the downtime. Sometimes there are certain machines that it need time to rest a little bit before it can continue working. Okay, and then we calculate the amount of machine required using the formula. Okay, this is the formula. Okay, so the number of machines required, okay, we can get the figure by planned rate of production per day, how many, okay, divide by machine productive time per day, okay, how long, okay, times the standard production time per unit. For each unit you must know how long it will take, okay, for it to finish. Okay, then you will get the number of machine that you need to buy. Okay, so next is the manpower planning. Of course you need the you need the labor, okay, to operate the machine, to do all those tasks. Okay, how many laborers, employees that you need to employ. Okay, so first you have to determine the planned rate of production per day, okay, for the particular section of the job. Okay, so how long for per day lah, okay, the rate. Okay, and then you have to determine the standard time for a worker to produce one unit. For each unit, how long it will take for the worker. Okay, and then we have to determine the workers' productions hours. Okay, working hours minus rest time of workers either time. And that you want to know what is the how long is the workers actually working producing the product lah, or the unit. Okay, and then we can calculate the amount of direct labor required. Okay, number of worker required. Okay, planned rate of production per day. Okay, divide by worker productive time per day times the worker standard production time per unit. Okay, and then we will get the number of employee or worker that we need to employ. Okay, we also need to calculate the overheads. Okay, overheads refers to requirements other than direct raw materials and direct labor. Okay, even though this overhead is not, we cannot see the overhead in the product, or they are not directly involved in producing the product, okay, but we still need them in order for our operation to run. Okay, example are the indirect labor, okay, indirect material, insurance, maintenance, utilities, and so on. Okay, next is the location plan. Okay, so we have to decide the location, the best location for our business. Okay, so location is very important because our sales depends on the location. Okay, our business operation cost is depends on the location. Okay, is if it's too far, okay, so maybe the cost, the transportation cost will increase. Okay, the long-term investment. So factors that influence the location, the manufacturing activity, okay, should be given to the cost factors. Okay, in manufacturing costs, saving would contribute to profit. So we need to save as much money as we can. Okay, in terms of services, okay, of course we want to locate our business near to the customer or where customer easy to go to our place. Okay, because sometimes customer don't want to go if the location is too far away. Okay, so we have to keep in mind that we want to be in the area where the customer needs us. Okay, so the factors to be considered for choice of location: the distance, okay, from raw materials or the suppliers, the labor supply, the transportation cost, okay, the price of land or rental, of course you need to know, okay, the infrastructure, the climate, if it will contribute to the production, okay, the local government policies, okay, the security of the area, okay, and also the whether it's available for the expansion of your business. Okay. Okay, next you also need to prepare the business and operation hours. Okay, it's not the same. Okay, business hour is a separate thing, operation hour is also a separate thing. Okay, so business hours refer to the time the business is open to the customer. Okay, mean that let's say that your business opened, okay, for the customer to come is at 10 a.m. and close at 10 p.m. Okay, so the operation hours refers to the hours the workers have to come to work. Okay, meaning that of course before the customers come, of course you have to open your shop first. Okay, so the employee have to be there to be prepared. Okay, so this is what we call as the operation hours. Okay, so for example, restaurant may open to the customer, okay, from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Okay, however, that is for the business hour. Okay, because the customer can come as early as 7 p.m. and as late as 10 p.m. Okay, however, the operation hour for the employees, the workers, is from 5 a.m. to 12 a.m. Okay, 5 a.m. because they might come to clean up first, to start cooking and so on, and then later they all will open at 7. Okay, and when they close at 10 p.m. okay, after the customers stop coming, they close the door. They still need to clean up, okay, and do the closing. Okay, so that's why it's closed at the working hours is until 12 a.m. Okay, you also need to prepare the license, permits, and also regulations. So you have to find out what are the license, permits, and regulations needed. Okay, for example, license for signboard, okay, permits for immigrant workers, and also typhoid injections for the workers if you are involved in the food and beverage business. Next is the operation budget. Okay, so the operation budget we can divide into 3 categories. Okay, fixed asset expenditure, monthly expenses, and also other expenses. Okay. So here we have the table. Okay, for the operation budget, we have the machines and equipment. Okay, and the fixed asset. Okay, factory renovation and the fixed asset. The raw material, wages, family rent, deposit for rent is under other expenses, and also deposit for utilities. Okay, this is the fixed asset. This is the monthly expenses. This is other expenses. Other expenses mean that the expenses that occur maybe once a year, okay, or maybe for once for the business, and then it never occur again. Okay. Then we have the implementation schedule. Okay, implementation schedule involves sequencing and allocating time to all project activities. Meaning that we want to predict, okay, we want to manage, okay, plan the duration for each activities in our business. Okay, example, okay, incorporation of business, deadline, and how long the duration for each of the activities. Okay. So that's it for chapter 10, operation plan. I hope you understand. And in terms of doing the business plan for the operation plan, I will explain in the video for the business plan. Okay, thank you for your to watch the video.